Welcome back to our class. Now we will discuss about the analogy between electric dipole and magnetic dipole. Just before, in our previous class, we have shown that a current loop behaves like a magnetic dipole with dipole moment Pm equal to I into A, where I is the current through the loop and A is the area of the loop. Now, let us have an analogy between our electric dipole and magnetic dipole. What is an electric dipole? Electric dipole is a system consisting of two equal and opposite point charges separated by a small distance apart. And exactly in the similar way, we can show that a magnetic dipole, which is a bar magnet, consists of two poles having equal strength and opposite in nature, separated by a small distance apart. And an electric dipole has a dipole moment, which is a vector quantity having magnitude equal to the product of either charge of the dipole and the effective distance between the two charges. Exactly in the similar way, there is a magnetic dipole which is also a vector quantity having dipole moment equal to the product of either pole strength and the effective length between the two poles, or in case of a circular loop, this dipole moment can be considered as the product of the current and the area of the loop. So, let us write what is an electric dipole. It is a system consisting of, now let us write electric dipole. It is a system consisting of two equal and opposite point charges separated by a small distance apart. If we take here plus q charge and it is minus q charge and the distance between these two charges is 2L, then this system behaves like an electric dipole. And exactly in the similar fashion, we can consider the magnetic dipole as it is a system consisting of two equal and opposite poles, magnetic poles, separated by a small distance apart. Here we have taken point charges and here poles, magnetic poles, and here if this is the north pole and this is the south pole, and the pole strength of a north pole is generally written as small m, and the pole strength of south pole is written as minus m, and the effective distance between the two poles is written as 2L. Then this system behaves like a magnetic dipole. But we have seen that a current loop also behaves like a magnetic dipole, like this. Every electric dipole has a dipole moment known as electric dipole moment. Here also we can write that every magnet or current loop behave like a magnetic dipole having a dipole moment. So, number 3, electric dipole moment is a vector quantity having magnitude equal to the product of magnitude of either charge and the distance between the two poles. Exactly in the similar fashion we can write magnetic dipole moment is a vector quantity having magnitude equal to the product of either pole strength and the magnetic length. That is also known as the effective length. So, we can write here that is electric dipole moment equal to PE vector equal to 2QL, or we can write this Q into 2L into n cap, implies its magnitude is equal to Q into 2L. Exactly, here we can also write magnetic dipole moment equal to P m vector, which can be written as m into 2L into n cap, implies Pm equal to m into 2L. Also, in case of a current loop, Pm equal to I into A for a coil of single turn. And if we consider the coil to be of n turns, this magnetic dipole moment will be I into NIA. Here the direction of electric dipole moment is from negative charge to positive charge. Exactly the direction of magnetic dipole moment is from south pole to the north pole. Number 4, the direction of electric dipole moment vector is from the negative charge to the positive charge along its axis. Similarly, the direction of the magnetic dipole moment is from the south pole to the north pole along the axis. These are the analogy between the electric dipole and magnetic dipole. Now, let us switch over to Ampere's circuital law. Now, let us discuss about Ampere's circuital law. As the name signifies, it is given by Ampere, and this law deals with electrical circuits from which magnetic fields are produced. In electrostatics, we have studied a Coulomb's law, which gives expression for the force between 2 point charges at rest. But its general case was given by Gauss law, and exactly in the magnetic field due to current carrying conductor, we have explained Biot-Savart's law and its application to long straight conductor carrying current, circular coil, and also to solenoid and toroid. But here we will discuss Ampere's circuital law applied to solenoid, toroid, and Helmholtz coil. So, generally this topic is often asked in the examination as state and prove Ampere's circuital law and apply it to the following cases. It may be either of these: solenoid, toroid, or Helmholtz coil. So, now first let us start from the statement of this law, then we have to prove Ampere's circuital law. After that, we will discuss the applications of Ampere's circuital law. So, what is the statement of Ampere's circuital law? The law states that the line integral of the magnetic field around any closed circuit is equal to mu 0 times the total current flowing through the circuit. Once again I am repeating, Ampere's circuital law states that the line integral of magnetic field around any closed circuit is equal to mu 0 times the total current flowing through the circuit. So, what will be the statement? Ampere's circuital law states that the line integral of magnetic field around a closed circuit carrying current is mu 0 times the total current flowing through the circuit. That is, mathematically we can write integration B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 I. This is the mathematical form of Ampere's circuital law, and this is the statement of Ampere's circuital law. Now, our duty is to prove Ampere's circuital law. To prove Ampere's circuital law, let us consider a long straight conductor carrying a current I flowing through it. To prove Ampere's circuital law, let us consider a long straight conductor carrying a current here. This is a long straight conductor in which a current I is flowing through it, and as shown here, this is a plate like area and a straight conductor is passing through it. As we know, there is a magnetic field around a current carrying conductor, and the magnetic lines of force are shown like circular arcs. So, at any point, the direction of a magnetic field and the direction of this element will be same. If we consider a small element of length dl, then both will have same direction. As shown, at any point the directions of B vector and dl vector are same. So, angle between them, angle between B vector and dl vector is 0 degree. So, the line integral of magnetic field can be written as, so the line integral of magnetic field can be written as integration B vector dot dl vector is equal to integration B dl cos theta, which is equal to integration B dl cos 0 degree. As we know, cos 0 degree is 1. So, line integration of B vector dot dl vector is equal to integration of B dl. But from Biot-Savart's law, for a long straight conductor, we know that B equal to mu 0 by 4 pi 2 I by R. So, here in place of B, we can put that value, B equal to mu 0 by 4 pi 2 I by R for long straight conductor. It is known from Biot-Savart's law for long straight, infinite long straight conductor. So, equation 1 becomes as the line integral of B vector dot dl vector will be equal to how much? B dl. So, it is integration of B dl, which is equal to integration of B. In place of B, you can write mu 0 by 4 pi into 2 I by R into dl. But mu 0 by 4 pi is a constant, 2 I and R all are constants, they can be taken outside. So, it can be written as mu 0 by 4 pi 2 I by R into integration of dl. And as it is seen, the loops are circular and dl is a small element of this circular loop. So, the total integration of that dl will be from 0 to 2 pi r, which is the circumference of that loop with radius r. If I consider this one to be r, then it will be 2 pi r and our limit of integration will be from 0 to 2 pi r. So, it can be written as mu 0 by 4 pi into 2 I by r, the integration of it is L from 0 to 2 pi r, which is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into 2 I by r into, it will be 2 pi r. Now, this r get cancelled, pi gets cancelled, 4 here it is 2 into 2. So, it will be 4. So, now this becomes as mu 0 I. Hence, Ampere's law is proved, and here we have proved this for circular path, but this is true in general for any closed path. So, now let us prove it for any type of closed path. No doubt this is true for a circular path, but it can be proved for any path in general. So, let us proceed. Let us consider a straight conductor carrying current I, and let the circuit may be of irregular shape having its center at O, and let us consider a small element PQ on its arc making angle d theta at the center with radius r. From the figure, we can write d theta is equal to arc by radius. Arc is PQ by radius is r, but the PQ arc is of length dl, so it is dl by r, which implies dl will be r d theta. But integration b vector dot dl vector will be equal to integration of b dl cos theta, and it will be integration b dl cos 0 degree, same as before integration b dl as cos theta cos 0 is equal to 1, and it will be integration of b dl. In place of dl we can write r d theta. And for straight conductor, we know that B equal to mu 0 by 4 pi 2 I by r. Now, this becomes the line integral of B vector of dl vector equal to integration of B, and in place of B we can write mu 0 by 4 pi into 2 I by r into r d theta, and it can be written as mu 0 by 4 pi taken outside, 2 I taken outside, r get cancelled, and the integration is of d theta, and the value of theta will be from 0 to 2 pi around the plane. So, it will be mu 0 by 4 pi into 2 I into the value of integration will be theta from 0 to 2 pi, and it will be mu 0 by 4 pi into 2 I into 2 pi. Now, pi pi get cancelled, and 2 will be 4, and this 4 will be cancelled by this 4, which is equal to mu 0 I, which proves Ampere's circuital law. So, here we stated Ampere's circuital law and also proved it for a circular path and also for any type of path. Then our task is to apply Ampere's circuital law to different cases like solenoid, toroid and Helmholtz coil. So, here I finish this class. Many thanks.